Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Bob Gray, Activities Director at Monterey Public Schools, and I want to welcome you to the 2020 Senior Athletic Awards Night. This is one of the most unusual things I think I've done as I talk to you live from my office in Sanford all by myself. For the last 21 years, I've done this in person, and trust me, I would much prefer to be in person speaking with you. Let me start with just a few comments about the senior class. If you remember back in August, for those of you that were present at the senior or the opening parent eligibility meeting at the Fine Arts Center, I talked about the Why We Play initiative from the Minnesota State High School League. One of the key pieces of Why We Play is goals versus purpose. And we talked about what goals are, and we talked about what purpose is. And let me remind you that goals are things that are attainable. So we all have goals to win conference championships, to get to state tournaments, and so on. But that's not our purpose. Our purpose is to build young people. The purpose of Monterey Athletic Department, written by our coaching staff, is to develop responsible young men and women that act with integrity when no one is looking, persevering when the road of life presents challenges. And the road of life has certainly presented challenges this spring. The COVID-19 pandemic has caused this senior class to lose their spring sports season, their last chance to participate in high school athletics. It's sad. It's worse than sad. But I want to talk just a minute about goals and purpose again. While the pandemic can take away these kids' chance to reach their goals, the pandemic cannot take away these kids' purpose. And I want to remind these seniors that this may feel like a mountain right now, and I'm sure it does, because it seems like that to all of us. That are we ever going to get through this? But as your life progresses, this will become a bump in the road. 10 years from now, 15 years, 20 years from now, because your purpose and our purpose for you is to be successful adults as you move forward. This pandemic cannot stop that. As our coaching staff met a few weeks ago, talking about which seniors we would like to recognize tonight and who would get this award and that award, there were some words that kept coming up, and more important than wins, losses, pandemics, seasons, whatever, words like character, words like leadership kept abounding about this group of kids. And we have 42 seniors that participate in athletics during this senior year, and we want to take just a few minutes here to recognize some of them. Along that same lines, as you think about how this has affected your life, I ask that you go into YouTube and look up Jim Valvano and Stuart Scott. They give impassionate speeches about their battles with cancer. And while this is not life-threatening to many of us right now, it certainly is life-threatening to many families. But the things I want to point out is they both talk about how cancer can take away many things from them, but there are some things that cannot take away. They talk about their character, they talk about their love, they talk about a lot of things that something cannot take away. And I'll remind you that this pandemic, while it took your senior season away, it did not change your future. Your future may not be real clear right now because we're not sure what the fall might look like for many of us. But your future going forward over the years is still very bright. And we are so excited to see how you grow as an adult and what you do in your future. Please come back and see us. Please be part of Monterey Athletics for the rest of your life. As I say every year, anything we do from this point forward, you had a hand in. Whether it's 10, 12 years from now, when the kindergarten or first graders are participating, they watched you. You are their heroes of today. They want to be like you. So if they have success, you have success. I'm going to close with just a partial quote from Governor Wallace a few weeks ago when he was talking about, I think it was maybe during the first stay-at-home order, and he thanked the senior class for the sacrifices you're making completely and totally out of your control. You are sacrificing your last opportunity to do a lot of things as a high school student, and we thank you from the bottom of our hearts, because that sacrifice you have made is helping keep our community, our state, our world safe and sound from this pandemic, this terrible, invisible enemy that we're fighting. So let's move on and start recognizing some kids. And I always start with thank yous. It's always a little scary to start with thank yous because I don't want to forget anybody. But I do want to start with my administrative assistant, Deb Hind. As I say it many times, if you've got questions, you can certainly ask me. If you want answers, you're probably better off to ask Deb. I have one of the best ones in the state. I won't say she is the best because I don't know that, but I will put her up against anybody and no one will beat her. She will at least tie for the best. So thank you, Deb, for all the work you do. She's very helpful to me, our coaching staff, and our kids. Our custodial staff, Ron, Mike, Jenny, Steve, Sean, Luther, Tim, Chuck, Mark, and Chris, who do a lot of behind-the-scenes things to make sure that things are ready to go when it's time for an event. And I appreciate their time and energy. They don't always get seen, nor do they get recognized, but I want to take just a moment to thank that group of people for all the help that they do. Clark Transportation, and specifically Raleigh. Raleigh's been a great guy to work with. Things happen and things change rapidly sometimes, and Raleigh's always been there to support us and help us out, and to make sure that our kids are getting to events and home safely. And that's an undersold thing that takes place on a daily basis that we just kind of expect. And we certainly appreciate the work that Raleigh and his staff do to make sure our kids are safe. Our two gentlemen that provide training services at home events, Brock Madsen and Tom Reeves. What a great thing it is for us to have those two great people working with us on game nights. It certainly makes it easier for our coaching staff if an athlete is injured. I know I feel safety and security and knowing that Brock and Tom are there. They do a great job with our kids. They have the best of their health in mind at all times, and I certainly appreciate what Brock and Tom do for us. The coverage from the American News, Mike Milbrandt and the sports staff there at the American News, thank you for the coverage of our kids and our activities. We appreciate your support. KDMA, KMGM, and their constant support athletically, getting our kids on the radio and letting people know what's going on and broadcasting games and that. So we thank their staff. Our coaching staff. We've got about 35 of the finest people to work with the kids on Montevideo. And again, just like I said about Deb, I'll put them up against anybody. And I'm not talking about X's and O's, because again, that's goals and that's great and that's important, and we want to win every state title. But I'll put them up against anybody and how they care about your sons and daughters and how they take care of our kids here in Montevideo. Character is another word I would use for our staff. They are very concerned and way more concerned about the future of these kids than they are about the present wins and losses. Yeah, at the moment, it seems like the win is all important. But when it comes right down to it, their first and foremost thoughts are what's best for these kids as they grow to become adults. Parents, thank you for the hours and hours and the amounts of money that you put into your children to allow them to participate in Montevideo athletics. Kids, you might want to thank them someday. I know when you're 18, 19 years old in a senior high school, it's hard to say thanks, Mom and Dad, but they have done a lot for you. And make sure you take a minute to thank them for all that they've done, because they've been your support since you were born, and they will continue to be your support for many, many years to come. So take a minute to thank them. And finally, athletes. Again, 42. Nearly 50% of the senior class participated in athletics this year, and we certainly appreciate that. Your leadership, your dedication, and what you've done for Montevideo Athletics does not go unnoticed, and we certainly want to thank you. We appreciate you, and we wish you the best of luck. If there's anything we can ever do for you, please contact one of us, and we will certainly be more than happy to help you out. Moving on to recognize some kids. Scholar athletes. We give a certificate to all athletes graduating that will graduate with honors. So graduation, they will receive either a stole or a cord, which means they will graduate with honors. Of this year's athletes, we have 27 of the student athletes, and notice I said student first because that is the most important, that will be graduating with honors here in a couple weeks. I have their certificates. They'll be in your packet with your diploma when you pick that up, and I'm just going to read them off. So congratulations. Thank you for the work you've done both in class and on courts, fields, pools, tracks, wherever it might be. Alexis Berg, Kristen DeYoung, Tyler DeYoung, Carlos Dos Santos, Jackson Envoldson, Preston Envoldson, Kylie Erickson, Anna Erickson Jeremiahson, Megan Earp, True Evenson, Brianna Folk, Logan Golden, Selvin Hernandez, Brady Holgrave, Riley Jensen, Tyler Johnson, Jasmine Crombeck, Tegan Marty, Kelsey Maurice, Tyler McKee, Bryce Nelson, Sam Olson, Ashton Pauling, Kaylee Pauling, Kayla Richards, Jonah Suffalo, and Cade Weber. Again, that was 27 seniors graduating with honors. That's over a fourth of the graduating class that participated in athletics, as well as will graduate with honors. That's a lot when you consider the time it takes to be an athlete, practices, road trips, late nights, and all the homework that goes into it. So congratulations, those 27, on being a scholar athlete. Next, we'll recognize our AAA award winners. AAA stands for Academics, Arts, and Athletics. And again, academics is listed first because that, once again, is our most important. This is an award given by the Minnesota State High School League, and it's already been recognized. It's already been in the newspaper, so these kids already know who they are. I will not talk a lot about them because it has already been out there, but we do have two fine, outstanding young people who have been involved in just a lot of stuff as they went through their high school career, whether that be academics, athletics, arts, working, serving as our student school board representative. They're busy kids, and they've stayed busy and kept everything going in the right direction. So congratulations, and these certificates will be presented to Tegan Marty and Tyler Johnson. Again, those will be in your packet with your diploma. So congratulations to Tegan and Tyler on being our Academics, Arts, and Athletics award winners. Moving on to our next award, the Montevideo Youth Sports Club 3-Sport Athlete Award. About 28, 29 years ago, the Montevideo Athletic Department was looking at a way to increase participation and a way to maybe put a carrot out there in front of kids to be involved in all 3 seasons. And working together with the Montevideo Youth Sports Club, they came up with a 3-season athlete award. The award consists of a $250 scholarship, which kids will be receiving here later on in this week, as well as a commemorative blanket. Now, I don't have the commemorative blankets. The company we order from has been closed since the 1st of April, and they just reopened a week ago on Monday. So I'm hoping to get the blankets here in the next couple weeks, and I will deliver them to your homes once I receive them. The criteria is you must participate in 3 sports, 3 of your 4 years in high school, with your junior and senior years being 2 of those 3 years. So these kids were involved from middle of August to the end of May for 3 out of their 4 years of high school. We have 9 receiving this award. Over the years, the Youth Sports Club has given away hundreds of blankets and almost $350,000 in support of Montevideo Athletics, not just for the 3-season sport athletes, but for youth tournaments, for all kinds of things to support kids. So we thank the support of the Youth Sports Club as well. We do have 9 student athletes receiving the 3-Sport Athlete Award. Again, I will deliver those blankets as soon as I receive them. These following 9, thank you for the hours you put in over the last 4 years. Megan Earp, Selvin Hernandez, Tegan Marty, Tyler McKee, Connor Osmond, Ashton Pauling, Kaylee Pauling, and Cade Weber. Once again, 3-sport athletes, thank you for participating in 3 seasons over the last 4 years. We appreciate your dedication to Montevideo Athletics and to those sports. Moving on to our next award, normally sponsored by the Army Reserve, the Army Reserve Scholar Athlete Award. About 2 years ago, the Army Reserve decided to stop sponsoring this award. But since Montevideo had given it out for 40-some years, we as a coaching staff decided we wanted to continue to present this award. So we're going to recognize 2 students, a male and a female, that will be recognized tonight for achieving the winning combination of both excellence in academics and athletics. They have achieved a balance in their life that many people aspire to, but only a few are able to achieve. They've balanced that workload of academic homework with athletic practice and travel and whatnot. So we do have two recipients here. The female has lettered for 5 different athletic activities. She's been named a captain. She was academic all-state. She's been an FFA state participant. And she is also one of the 3-sport athletes. Again, we give plaques for these. This company also has been closed. In fact, this company closed. They do apparel as well. They closed and then reopened and made cloth masks for most of the month of April, and now are just getting back to the awards making of plaques and such. So plaques, once I get them, I too will deliver them. Congratulations to this year's Scholar Athlete for females, Miss Kaylee Pauling. And Kaylee, this is a pretend one. I just printed the award and put it on a plaque. So I will be showing the plaques, but I will not be giving them to you. I'll deliver them once we get the actual one. Congratulations, Kaylee Pauling, the Montevideo Coaches Association Scholar Athlete. The male recipient of the Coaches Association Scholar Athlete is lettered also 5 times, has been named All-District 2 times, was a 2-year captain, was voted as the team's MVP. He's a member of the National Honor Society, and during his high school career he participated in 4 different sports, which is not easy to do in Minnesota since we only have 3 seasons. So congratulations goes to this year's Coaches Association Scholar Athlete Award winner for the males, Mr. Jackson Edmondson. Congratulations, Jackson. And again, I will deliver this plaque to you once we receive it. We have a number of about 6 other awards here that are chosen by our coaching staff. And again, as I mentioned earlier, we met and discussed kids, and I'm going to say it a few times here, but in some quotes from coaches, but the things that kept coming up, they talked about stats like we always do, and we talk about all of those things, which are all goal-oriented, but they really talked about character and leadership in this year's senior class. So I'm really pleased to present the following awards to these young athletes. The first one is sponsored by the United States Marine Corps, entitled the Distinguished Athlete Award. We've been giving this out since 2002 when the Marine Corps started it, and here's their description. Unlike other of this type, this person need not necessarily recognize the most talented high school athlete who is in line for MVP honors or athletic scholarships to college. Although selection of the award recipient is left completely to the school's athletic department, the Marine Corps has designed this Distinguished Athlete Award to be given to young persons who optimize the adage, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. These 2 students will be recognized as exemplary young citizens and role models for younger students, and as having best exhibited the personal traits of courage, poise, self-confidence, and leadership while performing as a varsity athlete. And I think it's interesting they mentioned young athletes and young students, because the 2 recipients, both of them, coaches made comments about how well they worked with the young athletes and how well they performed as a role model to the younger athletes, all the way down to the elementary kids. So let's talk about the female first. The female recipient of the United States Marine Corps Distinguished Athlete Award has lettered 7 times. She's been all conference on 3 different occasions. She's been a state participant. In her sophomore year, also participated in a musical. One quote that I took from one of the coaches was, "She's dedicated to her sport and very coachable. She always has a smile on her face and has been nominated by her peers for team awards for the past 2 years." Congratulations to the 2020 United States Marine Corps Distinguished Athlete Award female recipient, Kelsey Maurice. Congratulations, Kelsey. On to the male recipient for the United States Marine Corps Distinguished Athlete, has 8 varsity letters, is a 3-sport athlete, has been a team captain. And some of the comments from his coaches include this. This young man has amazing character. He was the kid that younger players would go to for advice or help with something or just to vent. The one thing that says a lot about this young man is how he reacted when I asked, "Why didn't you put your name in on the captain's ballot?" And his answer was, "I don't need to be a captain to be a leader." What a profound statement from a high school senior. Another quote from a coach, "This young man will do whatever is asked to make the team better. He will do all the things and that do not show up on the stat sheet, but that give us a better chance to be successful." He's not a vocal leader, but he's more of a do as I do type of leader. Again, great comments about a high school senior. And congratulations to the 2020 United States Marine Corps Distinguished Athlete, male, Mr. Cade Weber. Congratulations, Kate. Our next awards are titled the VFW Most Dedicated, Most Improved, sponsored by the VFW. It goes to, again, a male and a female. We've been giving the boys an award for the VFW Most Dedicated and Improved since 1967, and for the girls it started in 1976, which is actually the year that high school athletics started for females in Montevideo. We have, again, two great recipients for this evening out of this year's senior class. The female recipient has lettered 10 times as a varsity athlete, been all-conference 3 different times, is a 3-sport athlete, was academic all-state in 2 different sports this senior year, probably would have been 3 if we could have had a spring season, was voted the team defensive most valuable player, has participated in band, trap shooting, FFA, and is a member of our National Honor Society. Some quotes from her coaches: she was always a leader, bringing people up and never tearing them down. She was coachable and always respectful, involved in everything, and excels at all she does. She's a hard worker, completely dedicated to what she's involved in. She's a great leader and a great role model for underclassmen. She is willing to do whatever is asked of her. Again, congratulations to the 2020 VFW Most Dedicated, Most Improved Female Athlete, and that is Miss Tegan Marty. Congratulations to Tegan. The male recipient this evening of the VFW Most Dedicated, Most Improved Award has lettered on 3 different occasions, has been a state participant twice, and the thing that was brought up about him that really fits the Most Dedicated, Most Improved is, like all of our kids, this young man has a number 1 sport. You know, we all have that, I like this one just a little bit better than the others. And his focus to get better at that sport, he chose to go out for 2 other sports over the last couple of years, and specifically this year as a senior, to prepare himself for his spring season that he lost. That says a lot about character of a young man. That says a lot about someone who wants to become who is dedicated and wants to become improved. So I don't think we could pick a better recipient for this award than the 2020 male recipient of the FW Most Dedicated, Most Improved Athlete Award. Goes to Connor Osmond. Congratulations, Connor. Our 2 final awards began in 1976 for females, again the first year, and in 1957 for the males, and they are the Alice Anderson and Floyd Arnold Award. These awards are presented each year to senior athletes who distinguish themselves in athletics and school life. The award is based on constructive leadership, sportsmanship, attitude, and scholastic ability. Again, that was written in 1957. It still holds true today. Those 4 things stand far above statistics and all the wins and losses. This is about the purpose. This is why we exist in athletics. This is why we do what we do. So the female recipient has received 10 varsity letters. This is the Alice Anderson Award. She's been a captain. She's been all-conference 5 different occasions. She's been academic all-state in 2 different sports. She's been a state participant 3 times. She's been all-state. She's a 3-sport athlete, and she also was involved in the musical in her sophomore year. Some comments from her coaches. This young lady is a coach's dream. Always smiling, always took what was said to heart. She excels in the classroom as well in giving her all after the last school bell rings. She's a hard worker and very coachable. She wants to do her best and wants to do what's best for the team. Again, great example, great role model. This year's Alice Anderson Award winner is Miss Megan Earp. Congratulations, Megan. Our final award this evening is the Floyd Arnold Award, again started in 1957, named after Floyd Arnold, who was a longtime coach here in Montevideo. The recipient of this award has lettered 8 times. He's been a captain, he's been all conference, he's been all district. And some coaches had quite a bit to say about this young man, but I took some of these quotes. A young man of highest character. His work ethic and positive spirit makes him extremely coachable. and a great leader for his team. He has grown both in his sport and in his life. He wasn't always on the winning end, but no matter the outcome, his attitude towards his team never wavered. A very well-rounded and mature young man. Coaching and getting to know him has been an absolute pleasure. And the one coach's comment was, "I wish this hardworking, appreciative young man all the happiness and success in the world." Congratulations to the 2020 Floyd Arnold Award winner, Selvin Hernandez. Congratulations, Selvin. In closing, I would like to quote the coach that just spoke or just wrote this last statement. "We, the coaching staff, wish all of you hardworking, appreciative young men and women all of the happiness and success in the world. You certainly deserve it. Your sacrifice this spring, your character that you have built over the years has certainly earned you that right to be happy and successful in your future. Thank you. Have a great evening. Good luck, senior class. Again, come back and see us, and if you ever need us, we're here to help you out. Thanks, and have a good night."